Yep. I'm thinking a transition from blue to darker blue to purple. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Oh, hey, didn't see everyone there. Hello to all, and to all, hello. This is Crazytwister88. Thank you all once again for joining me on the next session of Creative with Crazy, or for long-term Creative with Crazytwister88. But everyone's wondering how we got this far in the build and I didn't show anything. So here in a minute, I'm going to backtrack and do my own little steps. Okay, so first off, we're going to show everybody a slow roundabout of the building. I wish I could fly a little faster, but in creative mode, it's not about speed. So we're just going to do a slow roundabout of the building. As you could tell, I used red for a slight design pattern, not too much, not too little. Then I used orange for behind that, and yellow followed after that. There is glass mixed in, more like tinted glass, and then we used white for above. You know, kind of like, I want to say like a sun setting type deal, with clouds above that. From here, I believe we're going to actually roll on to a blue, to a dark blue, to a purple. But we'll see soon. Okay, so here is where we're going to do our step-by-step count. We're using sandstone and deep slate. Sandstone is going to be your inner count, and then deep slate is going to be your outer ring. Here in the middle right here, the first set is all 50 blocks. So count out 50 blocks of sandstone or whatever block that you prefer to use. Then here at the end, you're going to want to do 3 blocks right here in the middle. It's a 3x3 square, or 9 blocks in general. Okay, now that that's complete, we're gonna actually start by putting blocks here, here, and here. Each one of those is gonna need to be 50 as well, so I'll see everybody in a second after we get that 50 done. Okay, now that we got the 50 on all 4 sides, here in a minute we're going to put a block here. And we need a 50 count block straight up. So let's go ahead and do a 50 count block straight up. Okay y'all, now that we have our 50 count block straight up, we are getting ready to put a deep slate block right here on top. Now to remind you, this deep slate block that we put on top here is going to be just a middle block, so that does not get counted. It's a spare block, do not count it. Then what we're going to do from here is on each side, you want to do 8 counts straight out. Not 7, but 8. On that side, this side here, and the other 2 sides just as well. Once you have 8 count blocks straight out on all these sides, we'll get back to it. Okay, so now we have our 8 count block on all sides, and remember everybody, this middle block does not get counted. It's a spare block. Please make sure you did not count that block. 8 counts on each side of that block. Okay, now that that's done, we're gonna go back down to the main 50 on the ground, and on the ground here we're gonna put a deep slate block right here on each edge on all 50 of the rails. So then from there, you're going to do 7 blocks straight out. Not 8 like we did up top, but 7 blocks straight out, straight up, and over on this side, straight out. So that's 7 blocks. Remember, do not count that middle block. Now you want to do that with all the edges. Do that with all the edges, and I'll get back to you here in just a second. Okay, now that we did the 7 count on all the edges, this is exactly what everything should look like, along with probably what would look like almost like helicopter propellers up top. Now remember, up top there was an 8 count, down here it's a 7 count, and that's where we're going to go from this point on. Now we're going to transition. This is what a frame would look like. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Very close. But our next block is a 5 count block. So over on the other line, see, this is 7. That right there should be a 5 count block right there. That's our next step. So over on that over there, we're going to do a 5 count block. Okay, so like I said, and I do apologize for repeating myself, but over here we're going to do a 5 count block. You want to do it on this side here. That's this part up top here, and then the other side over there as well. 5 counts. Yep. Just like this. 5 count block, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we need to do that on the top as well, and also on all the other bars just as well. Once we get that completed on all the other bars, I will see you guys here in a second. Okay, now that we did our 5 count block everywhere, that should be bottom and top. This is what it should look like. Little wiggly broken fingers is what it should look like almost. We are getting there, everybody. Slow and steady wins the race. Let's move on. Okay, y'all, and now that the 5 count block is done, now we're going to move on to our next step, which is going to be 2 sets of 3. That's 3 count blocks, 2 sets of 3 count blocks. Okay, back to the build that we're working on. Like I said, we're going to do 2 sets of 3 count blocks. I will show you in just a second right here. Start up top, 1, 2, 3, and one more time, 1, 2, 3, going up at a diagonal. And you want to do the same thing for each side. This side here, 1, 2, 3, and this 1, 2, and 3. Going over here, we're going to do this side as well. 1, 2, 3. One more time, 1, 2, 3 at a diagonal like all the others. We're going to do up top, and we also need to do all the other sides just as well. So let's go ahead and do that, and I will get back to you in a second. Okay, y'all, we got 2 sets of 3 done on all the spots. Now we're looking at like little wiggly fingers. Little wiggly fingers, I guess. So we're getting closer. Now we need 5 sets of 2. I repeat, that is going to be 5 sets of 2. Just the same as we have been doing every step of the way. Going up and sideways at a diagonal. Those are our 2 sets of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sets of 2. So we're going to do 5 sets of 2. Okay, so like I said, we saw it from over there at the other spot. We're going to do 5 sets of 2. We're going to do 5 sets of 2 in all the spots that we have been doing, in every single spot, area, sideways, upward, downward, however you feel. That's how we're going to do it. 5 sets of 2. Let's do this. See you in a second. Okay, everybody, here we are. We are at 5 sets of 2, and we are definitely getting there. We're very, very close. The frame is almost done, everyone. So let's keep moving on just a little bit longer, and the frame will be done. That was 5 sets of 2. Let's move on to the next step. Here we are all, and this is the diagram so far. Now we're at the next step. We're going to do 2 singles. That is 2 singles. This is where it gets a little tricky. After the 5 doubles, we're going to do 2 singles and 1 double. So 2 singles, and then that one up there is going to be a double, but we'll get to that part in a second. Let's worry about and focus on the 2 singles. Back to our frame here. We are going to do the 2 singles. Let's get these singles done, and I will see you in a second. Okay, y'all, the singles should be done on all spots, and I repeat, that's all spots. The 2 singles should be done by now. Let's move on. We will move on to the double, which you're going to put just a double right there. See that? A double on every bar. Every bar that we have been doing it on, we're going to put a double on every bar. Let's do that. Okay, y'all, now that we've got our 1 double block done on all areas, We will then do nothing but single blocks from one point to another, and here in just a second I will show you that. Okay, so from here, as you can tell, the diagram shows on this frame here that we're doing pretty much about 7 single blocks straight up. So that's what we're gonna do. That's 2 singles, 1 double, and 7 more singles. So we're gonna do the 7 singles. Okay y'all, so back to our frame. We're gonna do as many singles as we can from that spot to another spot. So let's do that, and I'll see you back in a second. Okay y'all, that was the 7 count of singles, and the frame should actually be done. This was my 3rd frame. My 3rd frame is not done. I will be completing it eventually. I have currently 1 frame in process, a 2nd frame as a detail frame, and then this one behind me as a 3rd frame. So apparently, eventually all 3 frames will be getting used. So I will end up finishing this frame. This was more for show. And as you could tell from the beginning, we showed this part here, and this is how far we got with the very first frame. So this is what the build looks like for now, and we will be adding on. If you like what you've seen, please like and subscribe. Keep following. There definitely is going to be more, and I believe this is going to end our bit of our last session. I'm wishing everybody a good day, a great night, and an even better tomorrow. Please stick with me and join me for the next session. This is Crazytwister88, and we're out.